Warning, what you are about to listen to, some may consider sensitive information. And if you continue, you must be willing to free your mind and open it to infinite possibilities. And I thank you for your unwavering support by tuning into this transmission. And now, I am your host, The Grifter, and this is The Grifter Show. So are you actually making progress? Or are you just doing figure eights? There's a big difference. You know, a lot of the times we get consumed up in our life and we're just busy, nonstop, moving constantly. All day at work, get off, we're ripping and running with the kids or errands, grocery shopping, whatever the case may be, we're busy all day long. But are we doing anything progressive, or are we just moving? Are we just moving? Like there's a big difference between movement and progress. I know that once in my life I had it very twisted, thinking that I'm grinding, I'm doing something. You know, it's important to grind. Don't get me wrong, but what are you doing? Are you aware of what you're doing? Are you really in control of what's going on? Because most of the time we get consumed with whatever it is that we got going on in our life. We very rarely ever are aware of the shit that we're in. You know, we don't. We just keep on moving. But if say if life was like a pit full of quicksand, more movement wouldn't be your way out. It wouldn't be how you make progress. So it's not necessarily the best way to go. Now, I am definitely a strong believer in the keeping yourself moving. Because if you sit still, you know, stillness is like the close cousin of sleep, and sleep is the close cousin of death, right? So if you ain't growing, you're dying. So I believe that, but make sure if you're gonna move, make sure it counts. Make sure every movement counts, down to the smallest one. Because as you should be aware of, life ain't nothing more than just a combination and accumulation of all of the actions and decisions that we took up to this point. All the movements we made, all the little chess pieces that we moved around this game board of life got us to this point. Are we in checkmate, or are we putting life into check? You know? So be aware of your movements. Understand that your movements have consequences, good and bad. You know, there was a long time ago when, you know, my mom was still alive, and we used to sit there and we used to talk about, you know, the future and dreams and stuff like that. And she told me, from while we'll be in the middle of talking about dreams and aspirations, you know, and things that she might have wanted to do with her life, she would say it sitting there with me, that she'll never do it. It'll never happen. And I mean, as a kid, I just kind of agreed with her. You know, sad thing, because, you know, look, I love my mom to death. You know, I love her to death. You know, I miss her with everything I got. You know, I wish I could see her again. One day I will. But an average or mediocre life isn't what I want for myself or my kids. And it sucks to say, though, because, like, if we get caught up in that mediocrity of life, it's a direct result that we pass it down to our children. They gonna reap the benefits of a mediocre life, an average life. They're gonna be average in the mindset, mediocre in the results, mediocre in their acceptance. That's how I was. And I'm just a product of my parents. It's no offense to my pops. Shout out my pops. You know, he's still here kicking and moving. You know, I love him to death. It ain't got nothing to do with that. You know, I hope he don't take it as disrespect. But I wanna be great. I wanna know that I came from where I came from. You know, I wanna find value in that. And I wanna seek something inside of myself to where I can realize the value I have that the world could use. There's something inside of me that somebody out there needs. And you know, people could be in dark places at this particular moment when they run across my voice that just happens to give them this different insight or different viewpoint on a particular situation, and it resonates with them and their life's changed. To me, that's progress in my life. Progress in my life is actually taking action. Actually, when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. You know, because I'm 35, and I can honestly say, until I reached, 33, all I did was lie to myself constantly. It seemed like I was so concerned with the way other people viewed me, and I would keep my word to other people. I wanted my integrity to be something that was made of gold. But when I looked in the mirror and I told other people what I was doing for myself, I lied. You know, like if I say I'm gonna be there on Friday, I'm gonna be there. If I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do something. I keep my word to other people. I lie to myself nonstop. I'm not real with myself. You know, I realize that it's a weakness of mine, but I know that I've realized now that there's a value inside of myself. I may not still have recognized the full potential of that value, but I know that there's value there. And I know that I'm worthy enough to receive whatever God wants to bless upon my life. Not only am I worthy, I'm ready now. Like I can honestly say that if God was even to bless me with any kind of success before this point, it would have been pointless. I wouldn't have learned anything. It's like now, going through all the struggle and the obstacles and the negative mindsets and all of that, what it really did was fuel me to learn the building blocks to actually take into action, like actionable steps. See, people can explain the law of attraction to you, tell you what you need to do, but, kinda, but they don't never lay out like a roadmap. So I created myself what works for me. A roadmap I laid out for myself to where I can hold like a self-inventory of myself, where I can sit back and review on the movements that I made. And when I sit back and I look, oh, that wasn't a movement I should have made. Okay, I take note. I realize, like, oh, man, when that situation occurs again, I know, don't make that move. So a couple years of being self-aware of the movements I'm making and the consequences of those movements have really made me buckle down and focus and pay attention so I can make sure that all of my movements result to progress. I don't want to just cut a rug. I want to waltz around here. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just fake the funk. I want to step into my calling, step into my blessing, change not only my life, but the lives of everyone around me. And that can only be done by making sure that my movements and every step I take is going to bring me progress. Now, don't get discouraged, because you're going to find how hard it is to really stay focused. They say that the human mind, as of now, only has about a 7-second attention span. 7 seconds. It's hard to even stay focused on a certain thought for longer than 7 seconds. So trust me. It's going to seem like we're fighting an uphill battle. Because you're going to be focused, like, say, the first half of the morning. Something's going to happen. You're going to get busy or overwhelmed at work. Your mind's going to be shifted off of what the positive thoughts you were trying to keep all day. It's going to get drowned out by the daily movement, the daily motion. But in the middle of that motion, when you're lost, there will be random little thoughts that try to kick you back. All you got to do is when that thought comes, grab onto it like your life depends on it. Okay? And then just get right back into that mindset of, oh, the dreaming, the aspirations, the goals. See, man, you gotta constantly keep yourself at that point. So that way, when you're in the middle of those movements, it's like you caught yourself and you realize, oh, I know where my footing is. I got this. Pass me the rock. I'm gonna pivot and lay that jank up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, keep yourself aware. And when you lose that awareness, as soon as you get a little glimpse of your goal, grab it like your life depends on it. So let's try to get out there and make sure that all the actions and all the movements, all our grinding ain't in vain. All right, this is the Grifter, man. We signing out. Peace.